want to get started?
Yep, we started. So welcome everyone to a League A match, the second one in the third one in the A League. Second one for Tracer, first one for BitterWurmcoil. And let's see what we have on this first board. What are you, what's your eye drawn to first?
Well, I like Exorcist, so
Hmm.
I want Exorcist. Beyond that, I'm not really sure. Seems pretty clear that you can build here. You got actions,
Right.
draw, buys, thinning. I think I would like some number of loots for plus buy, just because Forager's main plus buy is awkward. That doesn't
Yeah.
have to happen in the short term, but I'd figure out how to get a loot or two off of Peril.
Yeah.
Maybe turn your Will-O-Wisps into loots at an opportune time.
Hmm. Yeah, like the Will-O-Wisp, if you're trash enough, the Will-O-Wisps don't really do much anymore. Are you planning on getting a forger to like get rid of your coppers or no?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, Apprentice is worse at trashing coppers than Forager is. Exorcist
Mm-hmm.
also worse than Forager
Of
at killing
course.
coppers. And once that loses its utility, you can kill it, turn it into a loot or an imp, or apprentice it for draw.
Right. So Forger
I don't
has
know that I
no.
would open with Forager.
Mm.
I'm not as sold on that. I don't hate it because it's not like you need to hit 5 here, but I mean, my first intuition was something like Exo Silver and then get a Forager the next time you hit a low price point.
Because you want to, the silver for an early apprentice or some other cards that
Well,
you're looking to buy.
partly just like that first hand or two with Forager, I think, has a good chance of being a bit sad.
Mm.
Like you draw Forager with 2 estates. You're either killing an estate, which isn't what you got it for, um, or you're hitting 2. Also, you're probably hitting 2 anyway because your opponent might not even trash the copper at that point.
Right.
And if the cheap cards were better, I think picking up a card that just does nothing but trash one card would look better because you could buy the cheap thing
Right.
on that turn.
Like a two that
Uh,
isn't a guardian that has actually text.
yeah, like I'd probably buy a Guardian over nothing. Probably you're gonna want it for
Mm.
Witch's Hut, maybe, and maybe Sword if it shows up. But I wouldn't be very happy about it.
Right.
But they like the Forager.
Yeah, both players do. And port opening.
Port.
That's
That's fascinating.
planning on
Just
paroling early, maybe.
more World just wants the loots ASAP. I can't say I agree with that at all.
Hmm.
Um,
Got a shield.
Forager Flagship makes more sense to me. Flagship at least does a little to fix Forager's main problem. Like you find those two together, you're at least hitting a decent price point.
Right. So I haven't really played with flagship much yet. It doesn't stay in play until you play an action card, even over multiple turns.
Yeah, it can stay in play across multiple turns,
Mm.
and wow, that's a sad hand.
Yeah. Declines on the Guardian. Tracer does. And
These players
BitterWurmcoil.
don't like Exorcist enough, and that upsets me.
Yeah. Early Witch Hut for Tracer. Not really a um, actually not a really good chance of activating the cursing, but still a draw for Discord 2 is quite nice.
I think I'm expecting just a peril here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And BitterWurmcoil has a bunch of money, so a lot of options. She ties on Witch Hut plus port, so port for some village effects, and then also some peril fodder. Maybe wanting more loots. Yeah, both player had single forger for a while. Somebody took a second one, it seems. A bit of work on that. Got a second one on turn 4, actually.
I
But,
think having 2 thinners makes sense. I mean, all
right,
the cards here that trash one at a time.
yeah.
And if you get that in early, there's productive stuff to do with the cards that you're using to thin because there's trash for benefit around as well.
Yeah,
I would have thought that was an
let's see.
exorcist, but what do I know?
Yeah, looks like it's turn 8 for a second player and only 9 cards of interest so far. Seems a bit slow, but online starting
Really
cards
like
that
ports.
is. Yeah.
Love the ports.
No more points to be gained, so either double 3 or maybe another witch hut. I haven't kept track of how many ports each player has remaining. Once those
Flagship
run out.
Guardian.
BitterWurmcoil did decline, or no, Tracer declined on Guardian at some point, but BitterWurmcoil.
Ghost Town Guardian.
I mean, if you want to.
It seems like they didn't need the Ghost Town so much if there's this many ports down.
Right. So, like, if you're planning on getting rid of all the ports with either perils or apprentices, you probably want Ghost Town at some point, but this seems early and not necessary as of yet.
Here's my guess. I think maybe makes sense. Is they have the Witch's Hut coming up, and their concern wasn't so much drawing it dead. It was they want to use their flagship to double the Witch's Hut, and having a Ghost Town means they can play the Witch's Hut first and get the flagship that's already in play to double play the Witch's Hut rather than have.
That does make sense. And then you can discard these parts for giving out some curses, slowing down Tracer's trashing, because Tracer still only has the single Trasher with Forager.
I would definitely discard ports here on the first pitch, just because you're about to trigger shuffle anyway.
Right. So
here, you might still do it again, just because you're almost at the end of your shuffle anyway. Yeah, I think that worked out pretty well.
You have a bunch of money. So you have
think about
10,
these foragers if you trashed all the loots. You could have an $18 forager here.
That's a lot of dollars. I don't think I'll get 18 before the game will have ended, but we'll see. Where it gets, I'm assuming just one, but we shall see.
I presume they're contemplating whether or not to peril this port, otherwise they would have just played it.
Yeah. If you don't, you've got 11 coins.
Seems they say yes.
So peril plus a 5 and a 4, allegedly.
I'm gonna guess Witch's Hut Ghost Town.
So you have 2 ports left, and the Ghost Town isn't active yet next turn. You don't have any. I guess you have flagship and Witch's Hut as 2 terminals. Another one, like a third terminal if you add another Witch's Hut, so that would be Trixie, I guess. Needing to hit one of your 2 ports, so this is much safer. That Witch Huts.
Yeah, so they went with Ghost Town, Witch's Hut. I think I like BitterWurmcoil's position.
Yeah, for sure. They're thinner, don't have any curses yet. Also more economy, more draw with Witch's Huts.
Yep.
Most metrics she's had.
I think the main thing you're doing to build here probably is add a lot of flagships. Really easy way to add payload. And hammer is a great loot for that.
Yeah. And then you're most often like you're probably trying to hit flagships plus Witch Hut. I guess you could like get some Conclaves on your flagships for more money, but that seems kind of weak and slow. I think you'd rather just use Peril for payload.
Ooh, I think here you discard Forager Guardian and then buy a second Guardian. Because you want 2 Guardians anyway.
That makes sense.
That would still let you play 1
You
Forager.
You probably don't want to play 2 Foragers. If you're planning on... No, that doesn't make sense. Like foraging a Guardian and then buy another Guardian, it's just negative money, so that doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, it sounds like a good line. And then I'm assuming you're playing your flagship after your forager and probably buying another coast hand. Trying to hit a witch shot maybe.
Ooh, what is this line?
Just foregoing the forager altogether.
Oh, they're gonna peril it.
Right. I guess that makes sense.
Because otherwise you would have kept the copper in hand.
Right.
For
You
one
must.
extra.
Yeah. No, no, you would have.
Yeah, this seems fine to me.
Yeah, because yeah, she's almost through all of her starting cards, so the forager is not necessary. Second one for sure.
Yeah.
Like we saw it kind of get in a way this turn, so I'm not guarantees that won't get in the way in future turns either. So let's get rid of it.
Not sure what the last two buys are here. You don't really need a third Witch's Hut, especially because there's the spell scroll, which could become Witch's Hut in a pinch. So you're not gonna dud.
Unless you're like specifically trying to maximize the chance of Witch's Hut in your opening hand to be able to flagship it every turn.
Yeah, I think the odds are high enough already with two Witch's Huts and a spell scroll.
Right. If you flagship a spell scroll, you do get. Do you get two things? So like you're double, if you double play a spell scroll.
No, you would not. Where is spell scroll's text? Spell scroll says trash this to gain a cheaper card, and that two means you have to trash it, meet that condition to gain the card. So the second time you played spell scroll, it wouldn't trash itself, and you wouldn't get anything.
All right. So the flagship would like attempt to play the spell scroll again and then just not do anything.
Yeah, it would do nothing. It would try to trash itself, it would fail, and the next thing wouldn't resolve, and the next thing wouldn't resolve because they're all conditional on the first thing. As opposed to Tragic Hero as an example of a card that says like trash this, gain a treasure, rather than trash this, gain a treasure. So you can flagship a Tragic Hero, and then every time it plays, it will gain you a treasure, even if it didn't successfully trash itself, as long as it's 8 card limit. So they did go with the extra Witch's Hut. To me, that seems overly conservative, and the current state of their hand, I think, validates my belief.
I would like. She's got a ghost hand coming in, so.
No, my point being is they didn't need 2 Witch's Huts because they've got one. Sure. We don't know which of those is the one they just bought, but one of them is not that one. And it's still in their hand.
It's 3 hits and 16 cards.
Yeah. I think I probably would have just bought 2 of the 4s, like double flagship or flagship cabin boy, or even a conclave would be fine. Something like that. The question is like, how likely are they to find at least one of the 3 cards? So they see a tricky calculation because you have to subtract out the ports. How many ports do they have?
I mean, you really want to play your Witch set first, right? Before you put a flagship.
Yeah, so the ports, since they're cantrips, are basically just kind of neutral in the deck in terms of likely to finding Witch's Hut. So your odds of finding any one of 3 cards in a 6-card hand, when there's 13 total cards, just seem really high to me.
It's 79%. But that's 3 copies. 2 copies drops down to.
Well, here the trade-off is kind of more like 3 versus 4, because if they didn't find a Witch's Hut but they did find a spell scroll, they could turn the spell scroll into Witch's Hut in a pinch.
Right, sure.
Now I'm not sure what the spell scroll becomes.
On a flagship, maybe? Do you have enough stuff to double up with flagship?
Ooh, banquet. Exciting.
Yeah, even though treasure does. I guess they did kind of second forager to be able to afford the banquet coffers. And if you are drawing deck, that's quite efficient, the banquet, of course, but.
Still, foragers are at 1. I want to see the loots get trashed.
First apprentice
Is there not a
game as
guardian
well.
in play? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Maybe BitterWurmcoil just assumed that there was a guardian in play because there's durations in play and Tracer has a guardian somewhere.
Right.
It's not like you're denying them food for their foragers; they just banqueted.
Yeah. You can go as far as to discard it, which is that.
News. Oh, is that what happened? I missed that.
Yeah, move off.
That's some clever psychological play. You buy the guardian, you undo just to get your opponent thinking you have a guardian in play. That worked.
Is there any do you ever
So
just
something a bit
flags a
awkward
forager
here is
here?
if you play these flagships, the thing I would naturally want to do with the treasures is you could gain a silver off of your hammer and then draw it with spell scroll by turning spell scroll into a draw card. But if you do that, all your flagships are just going to triple play the spell scroll draw, and you're going to get way too much draw. So probably this spell scroll is just becoming a gold or something sad.
So the flagships don't take one each; they all take the same one multiple times. You play a bunch.
I'll check the news and I'll let you know.
Sure.
Cornucopia and Guild 2nd Edition is coming. It's the original 2 small expansions in one box with replaced cards like the other 2nd Edition expansions. We expect the physical version in mid-March. You'll be able to get just the new cards as a 100-card update pack. We expect previews online, possibly from March 11th through 13th. After that, we expect the new expansion Rising Sun in April or May. The art for it is still not all in.
All right.
Those pokey artists.
You heard it here. You heard it here first. Heard it here first, right? Language hard. So probably not a flagship here though, hammer to like retain your flagship in play next turn. Also might be not quite, but might be getting close to pile out the next 2-ish turns. Especially with Banquet. Can sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Need way less coins. So when would you start thinking about scoring?
Province here would not be unreasonable. Especially if you're planning on buying any cards from the low-ish piles. Are there any Cornucopia Guilds cards in this kingdom? I don't think so. Wait, Witch's Hut. No, that's Hinterlands. That can't be one of the old cards.
I don't think so. A bunch of Nocturne.
Maybe the removals have already taken place.
Trashing those loots for boatload card well. Goes well with forts and flagships.
And now we get the big foragers.
Trashing another
Well, that's
loot.
more draw than we needed.
Right. Guess this card. 2 actions and then play another Witch Hut because BitterWurmcoil did not play Guardian. Declining to play the second Witch Hut. Alright, there's the forger. Oh, this is a big forger play. Ah.
Indeed. Certainly no pile out here.
Just triple province? That seems... Is that safe? I guess BitterWurmcoil didn't have enough money for triple province last turn. I don't think she added. I guess she did add 2 coppers. And I'm gonna use hammer to get the ghost town.
We'll have with just 2 the big concern is, can they empty like Ghost Town Witch's Hut or something? I don't know the answer to that. Probably, right? Like if they have a bunch of flagships, there's at least some theoretical line where they flagship a bunch of foragers.
Right, especially since foragers now give a bunch of money.
I'm gonna say Forager, Banquet, Apprentice for these last two buys. I'd like to have a deck that can clearly threaten to do 3 provinces next turn.
Right.
In case my opponent takes this one.
Because for BitterWurmcoil, I guess BitterWurmcoil did get more payload due to the forager being with more money. And she can play a bunch of foragers at like after all. She can basically play all the treasures except for hammer, and then use hammer to grab forager and play that a bunch of times off a flagship without having to trash any payload. So BitterWurmcoil actually does have plenty of money for triple province, I think. Is triple province good enough? That's a question. Remains to be seen, I think.
I would guess that if BitterWurmcoil triples here, that's not safe versus a good turn from Tracer. Of course, Tracer's deck is a little bit shaky. Yeah. You got to line up Apprentice and a big card at the beginning. But we did see the Forager Banquet Apprentice buys as anticipated.
And Tracer will be able to flagship into Witch's Hut next turn, thanks to double Ghost Town. He's also protected with the Guardian, so. I guess the thing I said about emptying your hand of treasures and then playing Forager a bunch doesn't really work because you're forced to trash your province at some points, but BitterWurmcoil should probably afford to not play some stuff and trash it instead, among of which those 2 curses.
Can BitterWurmcoil pile out here, I think, is the main question. Actually, I guess it's not that unlikely they could do quad province either with a triple forager, but I'm thinking I think 32 for provinces, or what's the easiest pile out?
3 ghosts and 3 banquets. 4 banquets actually.
So 3 ghost towns, 4 banquets, and a province is 21, 29. So slightly less money, but a lot more buys. You'd also get to make use of the hammer to gain one of the ghost towns, so it'd be like 26.
Yeah, but like playing hammer to gain a flagship and then using that to play a forager. Well, that doesn't work because hammer doesn't. Right, I'm confusing hammer and the spell scroll.
Ghost Town plus estates would cost 22, but you'd have to have 10 buys. And I think that's probably more than they can do here.
Yeah.
So what do they have in hand? Let's say you just play the port and then play flagship, forager, trashing, curse, witch's hut, and guardian. That's you get 12 money from the loots plus 12 money from the foragers, which is 24, which is too short for the non-estate pile outs, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, too few gains for the estate pile outs. So I don't think they have it in hand yet. I'm not sure what else is down there that might help them.
Forging gold and 2 other things is equal amount of money, right? So adding 3 coins over 3 forger placing, you're losing 3 coins from your gold, yeah, so that doesn't really matter. You're not, and you don't want to do that if you're not piling out because you're increasing tracers, forges as well. So are they thinking of not playing this Witch's Hut?
Is there a way that playing the Witch's Hut and giving out a curse can make a difference points wise? Like if you bring them down to 14,
I mean, you're not giving out a curse because they've got treasure's got guardian up.
That's a good point.
17, 18 plus 12 is 30 coins. 30 coins and 7 buys. It's enough for the Ghost Town Banquet province line, right?
They have 30 coins?
I think so.
Oh, did I forget to count the flagship money? Oh.
Could be.
I might have totally forgotten about that.
And also the copper like got revealed, of course, but
yeah.
8 triple forger is. Oh, I guess never mind, but because you're losing a copper, you have to trash a third card, which would be the copper, which is 29. I think that's just shy,
Wait,
right?
If you trash Guardian and Witch's
Oh,
Hut.
that works. Guardian copper, Witch's Hut.
Why'd they trash the? Oh, they drew 2 coppers. I guess that pays off.
Oh, they already trashed a curse. Never mind.
Ooh, 6 gains is too few.
No, with the hammer you can grab Ghost Town, right? Oh no, that's one shy, right?
So you could pile up Witch's Hut here for a loss. They need 1 more buy to win.
And Triple Province Duchy is probably not safe because, well, then Tracer would need Province, 6 duchies, and an estate for. No. Province and 4 duchies and estate would be enough. So Triple Province is probably not. Triple Province Duchy is probably not safe. Although I don't think there's anything better, so. I guess you can.
Surely you buy Duchy here. And then how many points does Tracer need? They need to score 18. So yeah, Province, 4 duchies, and estate. So 30 money.
Yeah,
that sounds reasonable to. I wouldn't be surprised if Tracer can do that.
Yeah.
But what other line are you taking that makes Tracer need more than 30 money to win? There probably isn't one.
I'm not sure why this is 3 states instead of a duchy. Because equal amount of points, it doesn't really make a difference for Tracer's capabilities, I don't think. And I think Tracer can just like easily ship this Ghost Town out of here. Because it's going to be last turn that he's taking.
So you need 6 buys. You got 1, 2. That should be trivial.
Yeah, so it's 3 forgers and 2 loots in hand.
Forgers all make 4 already. Could make 5 if you apprentice one of the loots. Do you still have enough buys to get that? 1, 2, 3,
I think
4,
you can
5,
draw
6.
deck with apprentice Ghost Town and import, and then just forge all your coppers is 12. I guess flagship. After case at 5 and the 4 forgers. So now 16 is 21 plus 2 remaining coppers, 23, 27.
I'm gonna guess this is a win for Tracer. It feels like a win. That's what matters.
And 27 is not enough, right?
Okay, but going on vibes, I think Tracer's gonna win.
Kind of surprised by the Ghost Hunter card on the Witch Hut instead of just discarding 2 coppers and apprenticing Ghost Town.
So apprentice one of the loots, flagship the forager, and then hope it's enough.
Because apprenticing a loot is plus 1 money. Because you're gonna play forger 4 times, just 4 plus 4 coins instead of. I guess you would have to trash a sword instead of the puzzle box.
Yes, I think for the loots themselves, it works out pretty equivalently because you could have just trashed the loot with your first forager, but you're drawing a bunch of cards like your Ghost Town, and you can trash the Ghost Towns instead of your coppers, and now the coppers are still payload. Is why I would think about trashing the loot here. I'm not sure how much is in the discard besides the Ghost Town.
4 cards total. 2 Witch Huts have been played.
Okay, so Province and Duchy you can't trash.
There's the copper and the Ghost Town remaining.
Ghost Town. I would have thought you apprentice a loot here, but apparently that is not the line.
This looks like Tracer's find a win, and yeah, there it is.
But yeah, that should be enough.
Actually, is it?
The win is there as long as.
That was one by too few. So yeah, quite close game, even though BitterWurmcoil seemed to be at the start. Tracer takes a win in second position, setting him up nicely.
Yeah, I think the in game made a difference. The apprentice forger thing is more explosive as far as closing out the game goes.
Alright, we got stockpile, we got war, some good cards.
So double stockpile looks pretty automatic to me.
Yeah, no great alternatives on 3 and 4. Both players opening on 3-4 again.
I don't even particularly like double stockpile if I can avoid it. I like stockpiling something else, but the something else's here are just not worth considering. If stockpile weren't there, I think Guardian followed by replace would look pretty good. I think I'd do replace over Wharf, but Wharf would also be reasonable.
Yeah.
I like the stockpile opening better, partly because you're hitting like 6 instead of 5, and so you get the Wharf, but you also get a border village with it, which is going to be an important card
here. Yeah, border village being the best. Village pact here, so village pretty finicky. Alright, so Tracer does indeed hit 6 on turn 3. BitterWurmcoil is slightly underwhelming 3 here. Not sorry, Snowy Village, but does hit 6. Tracer would be,
quite the luck, yeah.
Opening war without a border village is not the greatest, especially if you're missing your next war.
Well, Tracer's draw luck has run out a little bit there.
You can trigger the shuffle with this border village here, so it's not too bad.
The self-interview with DZ. What are folks talking about?
I have no idea, honestly. There's basically too much going on in the games for me to be able to pay much attention to chat.
Aha. DZ says, "Hi everyone, I playtested Mixed 2E, and I went ahead and answered some questions about it. If any of you ask anything that I already answered in the self-interview, feel very ashamed."
I shall not ask any questions and therefore avoid feeling ashamed. That's my strategy.
All right. Impromptu trivia. How do you think DZ felt about 1E Guild's Cornucopia? Liked it? Thought it was pretty bad? Or was largely indifferent?
Like before you listed options, I would have guessed ambivalent. So
I'm sorry, you were wrong. DZ did not like Guilds and Cornucopia and thought it was bad. And therefore it is great that Donald X wants to update it. Are those two sets permanently glued together now? What do you think?
I think that would make playing the game quite difficult. Like if all the cards are like just one single pile.
Yeah, all of the cards are glued together in a single stack.
It makes it difficult to shuffle, and shuffling is a pretty big part of most deck builders, including Dominion, like Donald X Arena.
And yet the correct answer is not only are they glued together, they have been for a while.
Alright, so what's happening in this game? Just a bunch of board visiting morphs and not much else? Yeah. Alright. Sounds about right.
A game
yeah. Is there though? Yeah, I guess there is. So we probably want to replace at some point to turn these border villages into provinces. Not sure when that time is exactly. Buying looting. Interesting. Want some more payload. Because you could also turn border villages into animal farriers.
Looting.
Right. It seems kind of early, maybe.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't take looting before replace. Replace seems like much better payload, but they took looting on the same time replace, so maybe.
Because Tracer's stockpiles are gone, so he does need some way of buying things other than playing 7 coppers.
Could always consider Conquest in replace, and then turn the silvers into additional replaces and draw them and play them.
That's one option. Not sure if you've got if your draw is what should we call it? Fast enough or reliable enough, that's the word. So tracing early with a single wharf coming in and also a single wharf going out. BitterWurmcoil also a single wharf coming in. So.
Oh, Catacombs, spicy. I was just thinking about Catacombs a second ago, because Catacombs is 3 draw per turn, Wharf is 2 draw per turn. I think I would still stick with the Wharfs, just because Wharf is 4 draw per village, and village is a bit of a limiting factor here.
You War Village Snowy here? War Village on either Wharf or replace. BitterWurmcoil, she doesn't have a replace yet, so might want to get one.
Who has the Snowy Village?
That's BitterWurmcoil.
They already have one. I don't think I'd want a second one.
That's true.
Maybe you just keep the stockpile in hand. Guardian, okay.
And then the second looting over Border Village for more draw. And Tracer actually trashed the Border Village for an Animal Fire.
Border Village, Wharf, Snowy. Oh, piles. Tracer voluntarily chooses not to take a Border Village. Worried about the Wharf pile out, I presume.
Right.
That might also explain the Catacombs. Maybe the idea was really worried about Wharfs being too low.
Because BitterWurmcoil still had some stockpiles. But now all stockpiles have been played.
A little bit late for it to make a big difference, but that would have been lovely early.
This was BitterWurmcoil is a bit low in draw. Tracer's gonna play a bunch of wars. I guess the question is how many turns is this game gonna last, and do you like not play this war to try and balance out your wars? No, answer is no.
I don't know. Conquest?
BitterWurmcoil also has 3 of the loots, and Tracer just the 1, so. But Tracer does have to replace, which hasn't been played a single time yet, I don't think. Tracer also kind of all villages, it seems like. Although that was partly because he didn't have any wars coming into this turn, so our future turns should resolve by a bit. Only being able to play one of these 3 turtles in the end there. It's kind of rough if you like, especially since he turned one of the border villages earlier into this Animal Fair. If he still had one, he could have played border village and played both the replace and the wharf. But yeah, that was before he didn't have an opportunity to play a wharf in 110 the last turn. So 7 here. Like he won a village, but border village, like as you mentioned earlier, the pilot. Although I guess since BitterWurmcoil got rid of her star piles now, the threat is slightly lowered. Though she does have 3 prizes, or 3 dudes, I should say.
One of them's a prize.
Sure is. You can pick one of them. You pick that one if you play with tournaments. Figure ahead, also some nice draw. Has a good warp impression. So 17 money here.
2 magnates
Oh,
is a
I guess
lot of
discard.
I like the idea of having 1 magnate in the deck.
I'm assuming you're referring to Marquise?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what it's called. the
Mine is
new draw
the
card.
new one with the coins. Having
Yeah.
reading treasures, yeah.
2 Marquises.
Need to discard 5 cards here, so debating whether to like keep in the state for the prize code, I'm assuming. That would result in 15 coins. But also to keep the guardian, so 14 coins. Oh no, 15. I can't count.
I'm gonna say province, border, village, replace.
Yeah. Sounds pretty good. So apparently BitterWurmcoil only has the 2 wars. Not sure more, but it's been enough apparently with the Marquises. And the figurehead coming in now as well. So you are likely to be able to collide over replace with the border village. You don't really need to, I guess you can probably with the province points lead. Conquests. Alright. Likely planted.
A second snowy? I question that.
Perhaps it was the.
If he bought a silver there, that would have been 2 extra points.
Just take the draw card and kind of comes there. Doesn't really matter, but so snowy here. You could replace border village into province if you so choose. Could replace catacombs
here. I think a win would look like 2 border villages and 8 estates, probably. So let's say you place catacombs into border village replace, and then gain an estate off of that. Then you draw the replace. You replace an estate into a state. No,
I kind of want to replace something into border village, so this animal pack gives you another buy. I think you're buy limited. Yeah. I guess you're not. Are you buy limited? I guess not. You replace 2 things. No, you've got plenty buys. Never mind. You've got 8 already.
It kind of looks like a good pile on border villages and estates. So the first thing that comes to my mind is replace catacombs in a border village and replace. Then you play your border village in your snowy village. If you're lucky, you draw the replace first, but you might draw the estate first. Actually, probably doesn't make a difference. Maybe it does.
Right. Treasure does seem to see it.
This is actually, yes, I like this better because this you do the replacing a catacomb second, so the estate doesn't go into the discard until later. Yep, that'll do it.
Nicely spotted by Treasure. Which means he's up 2-0 in this match.
Indeed.
Yeah, even though he was careful to not lower too much, ended up finding out himself. All right, see.
Well, this looks like it'll be fast. This will be really, really fast.
Got fairy.
Fairy recruiter by recruiter by recruiter, move fairy.
And 3, 4, 4, 3 doesn't really matter. Neither player has a 2, 5, or 5, 2, so.
I guess the real pro play is you buy a potion and then you fairy golem, and then you can buy it on 2 potion.
Yes, and that would mean that you have golem in your deck. That'd be nice.
And it doesn't matter that no targets because you can play as Way of the Otter.
Oh,
basically like
recruiter. Very nice. Yes. Yeah, both players mirroring each other pretty much. Although I guess BitterWurmcoil.
As far as as I had gotten was fairy, buy 2 recruiters, and I thought turn 4 removing fairy somewhere. I'm not quite sure yet where somewhere is. All right, we're just going for 3rd recruiter. That's reasonable too.
No, I probably want some buys at some point. I guess both players opting for the workshop. To have as their gainer instead of a plus buy card. Because plus buy cards are not really expensive. Like they're such draw cards, and
there's a lot of stuff worth gaining with workshop, not least of which is more workshops. Mid-turn gain and play makes a big difference here. And whatever you buried, you can also gain with workshop.
Yeah. The question is, are you getting enough actions to be able to play a bunch of merchant guilds? Like, I'm assuming merchant guild is the payload that we're going to go for.
Actually, how true is that? Because I mean, there's also workshop around, which means a lot of your payload is coming from gains rather than buys, and that anti-synergizes the merchant guild a bit.
Right.
Merchant guild still seems like the best payload just because everything else looks Cauldron and Mine are but merchant guild doesn't look great here.
Treasure still choose to buy one.
Yeah, I think that's more of a for lack of better alternatives thing. I
think you do need some walled villages to be able to still keep playing these.
A walled village here, I think, and then I still like moving the fairy token. Probably to barge, I think.
Trying to phase out these recruiters through recruiters and then swap the barges for draw.
I would like a duration barge, I think. Should be enough to kick things off. And then your main draw, I mean, could come from Swamp Shacks, potentially.
I guess every card is draw with the way of the other.
Tracer looks behind.
Very merchant guild makes sense.
Again, a workshop here, I think. Merchant Guild's just not doing enough
Draw
for you.
Workshop and then play workshop.
I take that back. It probably is Merchant Guild. I was thinking 4 money doesn't make more of a difference than 3 money, but I was forgetting Recruiter is going to trash one of these coppers. So yeah, I think this is right.
I'm thinking BitterWurmcoil's gonna turn one of these recruiters into 5 actions.
Oh, for sure.
So does Tracer on this turn.
But we'll be quite ahead nonetheless.
Yeah, Tracer not having any wall villages yet. Also, their first workshop, was that? Oh, there was.
Importantly, none of these decks actually has any draw. It's kind of important. In a workshop here.
Oh, never mind. Tracer did have a workshop first. Got the second. I thought BitterWurmcoil had 2 for some reason. But no, Tracer got their second one in the last turn.
These merchant guilds are not all too efficient at the moment.
Want some money.
Where's your draw? Don't you want to draw?
Just buy copper here for some more money next turn.
Yeah, I don't know. It's unclear. I was thinking about that, but if you're buying extra coppers, you're adding stop cards to your deck. Do they even get through their deck if they add coppers here? I don't know. Like barge plus some coppers maybe be a little bit more reasonable.
She did trash 2 cards. She also added adding a non-stop card with wall village and then adding 2 cards. Which I think if you're drawing in the right order, you should still draw.
More merchant guilds. This just seems greedy to me. Again, there is 0 draw cards in the deck. I mean, I guess you could honor some of these, but that's just
state for the recruiter. I guess that's better than copper. But yeah, you can either buy 2 cards or you buy a single draw card. Like, do you value the 3 additional coffers more highly than having a draw card? I guess that's the question. And BitterWurmcoil answered in the affirmative.
Yeah, I think this is too many merchant guilds at the moment. Workshop is just a straight up better payload card in the short term.
Yeah, I guess Workshop just gets you 4 coins worth of stuff, and merchant guilds gives you probably 2 coins, 3 coins, because you're buying 2 things, so 1 coin this turn, 2 coins next turn. At this point. Wolf Village, yeah, makes sense. Just load up on those to be able to get some draw. Also kind of interesting to have 2 blue fairy icons. I'm pretty sure Wolf Village one should be blue and the Merger Guild one should still be red. Or BitterWurmcoil, but
oh yeah, the icons are buggy.
So do you trash Merger Guild here to be able to play all your actions, or do you just
a lot of terminals we can't play? I'm gonna say trash a merchant guild and play, I guess, all your merchant guilds. The workshop is a good card. I like the workshop.
So if you could wait the other 3 Wolf Villages, but then you're still not adding draw.
You don't. You don't need all the merchant guilds. I don't believe. That's just like that low pile syndrome. Like if I don't take them, my opponent's gonna take them. But neither of your decks needs more merchant guilds right now.
Yeah, it's really just like just using these merchant guilds as moats, which is not very efficient at all.
Yeah.
It's just like pouching on this Wolf Village pile. And maybe barge here. Is barge better draw than council room? I'm assuming so, yeah. I'm assuming you don't need a 4th card. And
the meme of the like some Twitter post is like, help someone, I need advice balancing my budget. I'm spending like 200 on groceries, 800 on rent, $50 on utilities, $5,000 on merchant guilds.
I mean, I'm assuming I think like running a merchant guild, like or buying one outright IRL should be like way more than $5,000, but yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more expensive than it's probably similarly expensive to running a mine, but
I vote gain a potion here.
the trash to the recruiter.
Yeah, you're gonna trash your $4 card anyway. You could have bought something more stylish than a Swamp Shacks.
The stop point still here? No stop points in chat. Unfortunate. Bunch of Swamp Shacks, bunch of recruiter fodder. Yeah, not trying to contest this walled village pile. I guess Swamp Shack is also likely to be village, maybe even draw.
I see 3 fairy tokens there too.
It's like when both fairy tokens were in Merchant Guild and Tracer moved his one over to Walled Village, the remaining one on Merchant Guild remained blue, so assuming like the client didn't see any red thing to move, so just created a new one on Swamp Shacks. Merging Guild is probably costing that 5 now for Tracer, so. Yeah, do you alter Merging Guild here? Yeah, you do.
The polls are getting set up. Which cards do you believe are going to be removed from Cornucopia?
Harvest.
Harvest. All right. What else? I don't have any.
I don't know. I don't know the set one good enough. Like, I don't have a physical
Figure out.
copy of Guilds. But...
Hamlet, Fortune Teller, Menagerie, Farming Village, Horse Traders, Remake, Tournament, Young Witch, Harvest, Horn of Plenty, Hunting Party, Jester.
Fortune Teller, I think. Maybe Tournament?
Tournament. All right. Well, this is now recorded, so you're gonna be helped do that.
Is it 3 only?
I don't know. That's a lie, but
Might
officially I don't know.
be. All right. Might be Jester, like continuing the theme of removing some attacks or like repurposing some attacks.
I would not miss Jester at all.
Yeah, Tournament like does. It's a very unique card, of course, and it is quite polarizing in like a competitive setting. But I guess like most families is quite an exciting card to be able to play with. I guess I'll take that one back.
All right. Next list. Now we're on to guilds.
Okay.
Fairgrounds, Candlestick Maker, Stonemason, Doctor, Masterpiece, Advisor, Herald, Plaza, Taxman, Baker, Butcher, Journeyman, Merchant Guild. Soothsayer.
Masterpiece, I think for sure. Kind of missed some of them in the middle there, but.
In the middle, we got Doctor, Masterpiece, Advisor, Herald, Plaza, Taxman, Baker, Butcher.
Yeah, I guess Masterpiece, maybe Soothsayer, and probably Taxman.
Masterpiece, Soothsayer, and Taxman. All right. The fates have spoken.
All right.
See, the secret is Donald X doesn't actually know yet which cards he's going to remove. So you just announce it, and then you see which cards people want to cut. And you're like, oh, yeah, it was those three all along.
Yeah, just like in the last month, just like replace all, like have the printers only like, printed right now after famed domain commentator, more, not really famed. Also not really a domain commentator.
I mean, it lines up, doesn't it? Donald X specifically showed up in the chat and provoked us to go look at the news.
And so he's now sending the altered files. Sending the altered files to printers in China, and then they're printing, and then they're shipping, and then it arrives within a month in stores. Yeah, that's probably
most likely.
Yeah, that does make sense. Donald X. I think like lead times from board games are like a year, like from final files being shipped over to the production and then being able to like sell them in stores. Long process. All right, so what's actually happening in this game? Both players have a province. Piles are getting reasonably low with user rolls for distance small checks, especially with variant board. If you have enough buys, then just do a bunch of stuff, and they have plenty of money. BitterWurmcoil with 20 coins. But...
2 duchies. I guess, is there a realistic chance that Tracer could do 5 provinces?
With 12
why
coins?
2 duchies over province?
I doubt it. Perhaps duchy as recruiter fodder? Does that make sense?
Province is a lot of recruiter fodder.
Right, but then you're losing all 6 points. So just the 3. I'm not sure.
Maybe they're trying to set up a duchy pile out.
Yeah, Tracer not drawing is bad.
I would have thought the most reliable way to set up a pile out here is just Swamp Shacks will give you overdraw, and then you auto pile the workshops. Should be a bigger threat, but neither of these decks has come together quite well enough for that to actually be a threat.
Tracer also like having to alter his workshop.
Yeah.
Because he still has a bunch of starter cards with the coffers.
Yeah, it's a shame the only draw here is Way of the Otter. If there's some strong draw cards, that would really help.
Yeah, I mean, the draw that is on the board is also like very expensive. There's no way to make it cheaper either. Right. Tracer with
I mean,
province.
I guess theoretically you could ferry it, but a ferry on a barge, that's just thematic overkill.
Yeah, so what do you do for these last 12 coins? Can't really buy any Wall Village, can't really buy any Shell Shacks, I don't think. Recruiters probably also have limits, so does he kind of have to like buy some draw, unfortunately? Do you workshop here?
I think I would just buy a Swamp Shacks. Like, if my opponent can pile 3 piles, they're probably piling provinces. You're just kind of hoping that BitterWurmcoil does.
Sure.
I would expect BitterWurmcoil to win this turn.
Yeah, it's Recruiter Merchant Guild, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I would lead by playing the Recruiter and then see what we draw.
Sure.
If you find a province, probably just kill that.
Yeah, or a duchy.
Actually, I'm not 100% on that. I don't know how much money they have in their deck. I would kill the province conditional on I can make 32 money.
You need 12 coins?
Yeah. Do they have that? I don't know.
It's actually a good question. Do they have any money outside of Merchant Guild? That's BitterWurmcoil. Because the cauldron is tracers, the silver's tracers. None of the other treasure piles have been lowered. Wait, have coppers been bought? Oh, of course, because of the Merchant Guild. Right. Treasure bought 2 more for much money. Treasure the Recruiter instead of a Merchant Guild. That's surprising to me. I would have assumed that
that's surprising. Right, they have a bunch of recruiters. I think this is probably the right play. I'm not so sure about honoring the workshop. I mean, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. I honestly haven't paid too close attention to the contents of this deck.
Get your recruiter is
but like the workshop could, like, let's say you're at 30, you can gain a silver off of it. And I would have expected the Swamp Shacks alone to be enough draw once you get going. Okay, 26 and 7 buys. That does not look like it does anything here. So what do you do?
So Joe Province Estate is 32 points. Treasure would need Province Triple Duchy, which I'm assuming is easily manageable if he draws deck.
Yeah, I think I probably wouldn't buy any provinces here because 3 provinces seems within the realm of reason for Tracer. 4 provinces seems hard. Then the question is, how do you beat 3 provinces? Your opponent's going to be at 36. Can you beat 3 provinces if they do that? Probably, maybe not.
And drawing 4 duchies here is also losing, I'm assuming. So.
Well, so if you had 9 points and you got all the remaining duchies and provinces, that's 24 points right there. So you'd be up to 33, and you need a bunch of estates too.
All right, so you're not beating triple province, so you might as well buy province, I guess.
I wouldn't rule out beating triple province.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a few duchies now, and then some draw cards, and then you buy the province, the rest of the duchies, and some estates next turn, that sounds possible.
You need 4 states, right? Yeah, you need 4 states, assuming Tracer doesn't buy any.
Yeah, I like the idea of adding a council room, I think. I'm thinking some mix of duchies and draw cards probably is the best answer. Council room, swamp shacks, a few duchies.
I mean, can you afford to lower swamp shacks? Then it's only 6 cards remaining for Tracer to gain pile out.
For Tracer, it looks like the bigger constraint is going to be the buys rather than the money.
Tracer has 4 merchant guilds, but might not be able to draw all of them. Double cauldron.
Possibly I should be more worried about the swamp shacks pile. I'm not sure. Maybe you just add more council rooms and then you feed them with recruiters rather than getting swamp shacks. That could be better. Cauldron. Why cauldron? I don't think I believe in the cauldron.
I guess it means you have to gain fewer estates because you can curse your opponent, but
are you going to? I guess theoretically, if you have total deck control, you could trigger the cauldrons off of a single buy. Like you gain 2 workshops with your workshop, then you gain an estate, and then you just have to buy 1 action card to give out the curses, and the cauldrons are also a buy. Do we have that level of deck control? I'm not sure. I don't know if I believe in the cauldrons, but I could see it working out.
Might be to say Hail Mary. Because BitterWurmcoil has 31 coffers now, so
I would have liked at least one more draw.
Not an object. Because cauldrons do give plus buy, so next buying cauldrons is
cards and just 1 council room.
Yeah. She does have like a bunch of actions coming in, a bunch of money, and if you draw a deck here, it's got plenty to buy. Plan of planning out the remaining province or duchies, probably also states. So yeah, I guess then draws the limiting factor, so you probably want to get some of those.
I am somewhat surprised that Tracer undid there and chose to otter the 2nd merchant guild. 3 buys seems to be a big difference relative to 2 buys. This is looking.
He already doesn't have money for triple province, so kind of have to draw on to be able to like have a chance of hitting triple province. But
this is your best shot. But 2 provinces just seems so much less difficult to beat than 3.
Yeah, so now you need 2 province, 2 duchy, and an estate. So that's
fairly trivial.
You already have enough money, so you just need 5 buys.
Yeah. There's 4 buys. All right, there it is.
All right. Well, yeah. Tracer never quite had that control. BitterWurmcoil pouncing on that opportunity. Let's take the third game.
Are they going for the Swamp Shack's Duchy pile out?
I mean, whatever works, right? Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. The Swamp Shack's game did not seem like the path of least resistance to me. You got to buy the provinces out anyway to take a points lead. Oh, they're going for the curses, of course. Okay, fair enough. I take it back. Curses are more stylish than it.
Wait.
Okay, you better buy. Okay, I take back my take back. That was unstylish.
All right, BitterWurmcoil taking a game. You're on the board.
I'm only going to award like 0.8 of a win for that one.
Friendly chapel. All right, probably not going to come up. Usually don't want more than one chapel. The rest of this kingdom got villages, inventors, watchtowers draw. Watchtowers draw.
So
vagrant as draw? Question mark. I guess no, supply's not really draw.
Yeah, the trouble I see is your payload is terminal with inventor, your draw is terminal with watchtower, and there's just a single stack of villages. And with inventor in the kingdom, you usually want to be playing a lot of inventors.
Yeah.
So these decks are going to cap out at an awkward level. And you can't easily supplement that with treasures because frigate can shut that down. And you can't easily supplement that with actions because frigate and messenger, while additional money, are also terminal. This is just a painful looking kingdom.
I'm assuming you open.
I guess the real payload is inventor gain marchland, pitch your hand, and then draw back up with watchtower for some extra money.
Definitely the second inventor. I'm assuming you just open chapel as well.
I need an extra marchland button. It only showed up in I think one of my games so far, and I didn't get it in that game. Well, my opponent got it to good effect, if I recall.
Turn 3
this
Tracer.
Is a terrible hand for Tracer.
Yeah, grabbing the first village. BitterWurmcoil probably inventor village here, I'm assuming.
I was thinking village watchtower.
First watchtower already. Oh, okay.
The undo suggests inventor village.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, well, BitterWurmcoil's draw wasn't great either. I definitely take BitterWurmcoil's position. They haven't played their chapel yet, and they're still going to be trashing many estates.
Yeah, Tracer once again. Colliding chapel with all the terminals, not getting to trash much of anything.
So are we going to use the friendly effect to top deck a new chapel for next turn?
Oh, I guess that's could do that, and then just like try to chapel at some other point. Yeah, because like most of the rest of your deck is junk anyway. Also, it's like a vagrants. Yeah, there we go.
Who
so it did come
a
up.
Friendly chapel to actually see use?
I sure didn't. I'm actually kind of surprised by counterfeit being bought. I guess it's the plus buy in this kingdom, which is nice with like you kind of really want with inventors.
Seems all right. Yeah. The plus buy matters when you have cost reduction.
Yeah, you don't really have any other plus buy. I guess not counting Marchland.
Playing the I see what they're doing. I was gonna say play the Vagrant after Watchtower, but I guess you really specifically want to trash a stage of chapel if you can. All right, villages are already empty.
Yeah. So I guess you can't play Inventor and Chapel and Watchtower and still have actions remaining. So yeah, this
brings you back to your base Dominion days. Just buying up the village pile. Village gone. Then we got the terminals later.
If your opponent can't do anything, you have all the time in the world to build.
Yeah, like in this kingdom, the amount your deck does is heavily constrained by the number of villages. I don't know what the split is.
Stretch could have four in play. Maybe just one left in those two cards. I'm not sure.
I'll count. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 5, 3. Oh, it looks like BitterWurmcoil won the split despite being player 2.
Yeah, probably at least in some part of the church being able to be up to 2 traitors. Quite weak opening like second and third shuffles with the chapel colliding a bunch.
Yeah. Yeah, these chapels have not been cooperative at all with either play.
They're not very friendly.
All three of them.
So how do you build out this?
As BitterWurmcoil, I think I want a frigate soon. Yep, there we go.
She does agree.
I don't know if Tracer can afford to play frigates with 4 villages.
Yeah, no space. What else? Seems too early for Marshland. Supplies is kind of antithetical to the Watchtower plan. So probably don't want those yet. Maybe later. Maybe not. Maybe not at all.
Yeah, the other problem is if you start getting supplies, all of a sudden it looks a lot better for Tracer to take a frigate.
Yeah. Seems like
we
a lot
lower
of
the
terminals.
tiles.
Yeah. So if you trigger the shuffle here, you're only having one village in your next turn, likely. Which seems quite poor.
How are there still so many coppers in Tracer's deck and estates in BitterWurmcoil's deck?
Because of the unfriendly chapels.
Yeah.
Could see Tracer getting rid of some copper here, but then Tracer doesn't have any payload at all except for inventors. I guess that's kind of like inventor jam, but
What's more edgy? Thinking frigate is fun or thinking frigate is weak? I guess it depends on how weak. Like if you're saying bottom half of cards weak, that would be quite a hot take. If your stance is frigate's overhyped, I would rank that less edgy than frigate is fun.
I think frigate does result in a bunch of decisions, and decisions are usually why you play games, so therefore decisions are fun. One could argue. For like, I'm not one.
Leads to sad kingdoms. This is one of them.
Duchy has been gained. So Tracer's taking a claim that piles are getting low, I guess. That's what that means. And you want to put some points now. I guess it's also like preparing for Marchland.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree with the assessment that Tracer brought this upon himself. He deserves all the blame.
I mean, does he? When the chapel's colliding and such?
No, I just mean in a broader sense of
right.
bringing frigate into the world.
Okay. One buy. If you buy Marchland, you have 3 remaining. That seems not great. Why is that? I'm assuming
that's a good question.
Assuming something to do with Tracer.
I remember asking that many moons ago. I've got the answer.
I guess if you're using a frigate to like commit piracy, you can like ask like some empire to like fund your little venture and then attack other countries' ships as piracy. Okay, Tracer. The full turn here. 3 inventors. Getting to discard a chapel. Oh yeah.
Marchland.
Tracer grabbing some points. Trace said, all right, I've got that control. Let's ruin it. So I think Tracer's like got rid of all his starter cards, hasn't he? Definitely no states left.
Let's see. I see 5 coppers untrashed.
Yeah.
Someone has a lot of coppers.
And Tracer shuffle didn't draw any coppers, then didn't draw and saw his entire deck. So BitterWurmcoil is still with 7 starter cards in the deck.
So
that's a lot.
That can't be right. They have 7 of their starting 10 cards on turn 11 of a Chapel Kingdom. I'm confused. Let's go back and see what happened to this chapel. So I remember bottom decking. Then turn 5, did they opt not to play it? Ooh, yeah. So turn 5, they didn't play their chapel. I think that's probably a mistake. It could have trashed a copper there. I guess that's not obviously a mistake. Trash on a state. Trash on a state versus gain on village. It's close.
Druid on turn 9. Trashing on a state. Yeah.
So yeah, then I guess it's like, bottom decks again.
Yeah, so BitterWurmcoil only saw the chapel twice so far, 3 times.
That is a ridiculous draw.
So we were lamenting Tracer's unlucky chapel collisions.
Yeah.
BitterWurmcoil might have gotten the even shorter end of that stick. Alright, so Tracer is adding 3 Marchlands, Duchy Vagrant. These Marchlands now worth 1 point. Alright.
What does it mean? Like, if you have a stick, how do you identify which end of the stick is the short end? Isn't the length just the whole stick?
Depends where the handle is.
Is there a handle on a stick?
Depends on the stick.
Is it a walking stick?
Could be. Huh.
I'll find that. Short end of the stick meaning. No, etymology.
Or maybe if you have if you have a bundle of stakes in your closed fist and you have everyone draw one, you're all choosing an end, the end of the stick you can see. And it's the end of the short stick. Yeah, then it would be the end of the short stick, not the short end of the stick.
Like people talk about like drawing the short straw, and that part makes sense to me.
Right.
But here we're talking about drawing the short end of the same stick.
Is it drawing as like picking and choosing, or drawing as in with a pen or pencil on paper?
To draw as in just like to pluck out, to take out. Yeah. Like you could draw water from a well. Some believe it comes from worse end of the staff, used since the early 1500s, which in the mid 1800s became short or shitty end of the stick. I don't even know if shitty was that old. Allegedly from a stick poked up one's rectum by another in command of the situation. Other believe it alludes to fighting with sticks, where having a shorter stick is a disadvantage. The precise analogy, first recorded in 1930s, has been lost.
A shame, really.
That didn't clarify anything. You're fighting with the sticks.
Like a quarterstaff.
That would be
a thing. I mean, does a quarterstaff have a handle, right? Does a quarterstaff have a handle? But usually I think with the quarterstaff handle, like smack dab in the middle, so you would still not have a short end. Anyway, Tracer seems in a commanding position here with their, I think, being able to like draw the necessary cards instead of drawing coppers and estates. There's come up your watchtower. Yeah. There it is.
Someone on Stack Exchange says, after reviewing a good 12.5 possible explanations on the web, the most likely seems to be a reference to carrying loads mounted on rods, simultaneous with being a variation on the older expression, wrong end of the staff. When carrying a load, leverage works against the bearer holding the short end, so they must carry more of the load, hence getting the short end of the stick. Other possible explanations range mostly from the crude to the cruder to the variations on the alleged premise of Edward II. None of them seem at least the least bit likely to me.
Sure. Anyway, here's New Kingdom. We've got hideout for Buddhist trashing, market square for payload, I guess. Scholar for draw? Question mark.
It's awkward because your payload is mostly going to be treasures, it seems like, but your draw is scholar, which doesn't play great with treasures. Like, you could try to build a deck that's just scholars and villages and then kilns and a scavenger for payload, but that seems super inefficient. So my guess is this is one of those sort of like quasi engines where you have 2 to 3 scholars and then shove your deck with treasures. I guess I would briefly think about toil and whether that makes any sense. What happens if you toil? That doesn't work because all the money giving action cards only give 2 money, so you're just breaking even on those.
Like once you toil scholar, you cannot play any treasures anymore, right? That's how it works.
It'd be lovely to get a staff, because you could staff a scholar and then play treasures.
So BitterWurmcoil opting for a hideout. Collides it, doesn't collide it. Plus some more hideouts and mark squares. Try again. Tracer, opening scavenger, then hideouts afterwards. So BitterWurmcoil ahead on trashing, but scavenger seems.
I think I like the hideout open more. Yeah. In your average kingdom, I would probably lean towards scavenger over hideout, just because hideout is so slow at trashing at the start. Like, you're turning a state into a curse with distant late thinning. Scavenger at least gets you to 5, which usually does something. But the 5s here don't seem super important to me early. Like, I want some scholars, but I don't need a scholar turn 3 or anything.
Right.
And so for that reason, I think hideout seems good.
Yeah. Especially again, like collide, hideout, and mark square in the second shuffle. You've got a bunch of money already, and then you buy silver, you can like try to get a wealthy village. Like BitterWurmcoil didn't even collide until the 3rd time she drew the hideout, but the treasure opt not to discard mark square on turn 6. No, I'm inventing things. Nice turn with Tracer.
So Tracer the first one on the scholar, but I expect BitterWurmcoil to get one here.
You like not sure what those last 2 cards are for BitterWurmcoil and even how many golds you want.
If I knew the last 2 cards were both junk, I think I would play the hideout and take 2 golds.
Yeah.
Seems like they were not both junk, so you play market square first.
Yeah, right now you're getting to discard those mark squares and also draw back up with scholar.
Now, in this hand for BitterWurmcoil, I think I would lead with the market square, at least one. Like, if I haven't found my scholar, I think the better move is to play the market square and draw on.
Next, BitterWurmcoil already has 2 golds, I think.
You got some golds in the deck, and finding a scholar would be good. Finding enough money to buy a second scholar would also be good. So the argument, I think, favors playing the market square until you've got a guarantee of one of those 2 things.
Just going for a 3rd hideout while the trash rolls are dwindling.
See, I don't Stopping here. 4 just seems a lot less important than 5 to me. Either 5 or a scholar would have been a big deal there.
Do you take the silver here and stuff? No, that's for just mark square. You could like grab silver and gold, trying to get for wealthy, go for wealthy village. Although I guess wealthy village isn't really that important to hit.
Yeah.
It's like you already have like a bunch of economy payload with your mark square gold thingies and your a bunch of draw scholars. So.
I agree. In terms of payload that I would ideally like to have in my deck, loots and maybe a pendant or two sound better. But in terms of ease of getting the payload, it might just be more practical to shove a bunch of golds in the deck with market square and not bother.
Yeah.
Especially because market square provides the plus buy, which is normally the main appeal of loot over gold.
So you could have top deck the scholar, play the hideout, and then draw the rest of your cards, right? That means you're not trashing the curse, I guess. The downside of that, but you're getting more money. But I guess if you're just playing a pendant anyway, it's not really much of an upside. Okay, I'm bunch of
you might
scholars
still
right
want
here.
a wealthy village or two, just because you want to make sure you're finding a village and playing it before you're a scholar. And at some point, you're not going to want that to just be hideouts anymore.
If you trust in that watchman here, you can double wealthy village.
I'm going to say wealthy village and scholar. I'd like a second scholar.
Does make sense. Let's see, scavenger. So you can mid-turn. I guess you can then hide out scavenger and then scholar. Although you would need 2 outlets for that. Targeting scavenger. You can buy something until that on top with scavenger. Sure. It does make sense. Also for double scholar, so no wealthy village instead. Signing the draw is more important than the payload from the loot. Tracer decides that he's got plenty of golds. Doesn't want to discard these mark squares anymore. There we go. Much stuff.
That is a lot of scholars in hand. Should have gotten a scavenger to retop deck the scholars out of the discard.
Spell scroll. Is spell scroll any good here?
Yeah, I'd say so. Turning it into a pendant would be good for payload. If you need the draw, do biphase draw with scholar would be good as well. Sure. And Tracer's definitely fine with a third scholar in it.
Let's go. It's kind of a bit late to the party. Almost all the starter cards are gone already. Yeah, only 3 coppers remaining. Is it? I'm assuming it's not worth keeping a copper for pendant reasons. Because that's kind of like a silver.
Yeah.
I guess if you have multiple pendants, it gets better, but it's still a stop card.
You might be buying some coppers here anyway if your deck is just full of hideouts. I'm not sure that they're worse than nothing, but trashing the hideout would probably be the main reason. I think ideally I would like to move away from that and have enough wealthy villages to not need the hideouts.
Right. Yeah, just gonna
These decks are
whack
still a
the
little bit
goods pile.
sad on what they cap out at, just because like your payload is the treasure. So you play 3 scholars, your ending hand is still just going to be 7.
Yeah.
Even the figurehead doesn't really help when you're just going to pitch again.
BitterWurmcoil just opting not to even play this color. Figuring
Yeah,
that
I was
nine is plenty.
wondering about that. Looks like it's probably the right call. Seeing what was coming up.
Yeah.
If you knew you were going to hit a comparable number, getting further through your deck would probably be good.
You're quite unlikely to hit anything better than 9 anyway, so.
Yeah. The main reason to draw on, I think, wouldn't be to hit a higher number than 9, so much as 2 of my scholars are about to be in the discard. I want to be through the shuffle as quickly as I can be.
Right. Really cool. No problem. Oh, that's cool. Right. I was like, I didn't remember chasing buying kill. That's because he didn't.
Someone just needs to get a staff already.
Remind me what Tav does again?
What?
Remind me what Tav does?
It plays an action card in the buy phase, so you can play a bunch of your loot, play a scholar, and draw the rest of your loot.
Right.
And especially with Pendant, that can make a big difference.
We have arrived at this scoring for this game.
Well, that was a good draw there. I'm thinking play this hideout and kill the other hideout before. Oh, no, we just want to pitch immediately. Okay. Kiln. When did that happen? Why did that happen?
Yeah, I'm saying that the kiln from Treasure with the spell scroll, but BitterWurmcoil is straight bought one. Yeah, on turn 12.
Interesting choice to play the hideout there. I presume you kill the market square.
Sure, it's kind of capture pendant by a bit. Opting for another gold. Very sad pendant here.
Yeah.
Like trashing the silver to getting gold and then having the end result be the same amount of money. Yeah, this is the third night Watchman that BitterWurmcoil bought, but Watchmen haven't really done all that much for her, I don't think. Yeah, BitterWurmcoil seem like feels obligated to buy some points as well. Although her deck's not really that well set up for it.
They bought Wealthy Village and then realized they don't even have a minimum.
Oh no! Oh, that's so trash. Coming back to Hunter. In Biter, where some people used to put short ends of 6. Yeah, what do you even do here? This BitterWurmcoil seems very tough. Adds a hideout instead of.
I was expecting 2 provinces.
And choosing not to buy the wealthy village, but instead choosing to buy a hideout.
Yeah, a little bit confusing.
Not sure about that. And even though she still has 2 coins remaining, so it's not for like, it doesn't really matter for hideout purposes. Doesn't really matter. Not sure. Like she's saying that she wants to trash him more, but I don't really see it. Other than like trashing these hideouts, but then buying a hideout to do that doesn't really make sense. Did we kill in the village here? Apparently so. Oh, lucky finds the scholar.
Don't play that scholar, I don't think.
We lost 3 cards.
There's
Pretty
2
bad,
provinces
right?
in them.
Right, so
I don't know what the last card is, but
that means your next hand. I guess your next hand doesn't really matter at all. If you like just buy both other points here. If you just strip bronze
you spent
here,
2
then
coins
doesn't really matter if you're next.
toiling the. I guess it worked out nicely to be exactly triple province, but if they had a different amount of money, they could have toiled the scholar to avoid this exact eventuality. Maybe that was better. Maybe double province, toil, and then a 5.
Yeah. Because this hand is really bad.
So can BitterWurmcoil win over 2 turns? Because Tracer's turn is going to do absolutely nothing.
I guess if BitterWurmcoil would have paid attention, then she could know that Tracer has 2 provinces in hand. No guarantee that there's like 4 provinces in hand, of course, but I mean, you're far enough behind that you have to play as though Tracer is guaranteed to dud because you're losing out otherwise anyway.
Yeah, I must say this still looks pretty hard to me.
Yeah.
Because you can take a bunch of duchies here, but then your next turn, you're definitely gonna have a bunch of duchies, and you're gonna have a lot less money to work with.
And also these four golds and like having 6 treasure hands, 3 of which are different.
Oh, very relevant point that I didn't notice. Tracer has a figurehead in play.
Huh. Right.
Which, if nothing else,
could
means
still do something. Oh, right. As well. Does have to play the scholar to be able to have 1 fewer card in deck remaining for the next hand to be slightly better.
Yeah.
I guess BitterWurmcoil could also have done the toil trick. Do you just have to buy province, and I guess you can just buy the province next turn. You know,
yeah, I mean, I think like toil, province, double duchy would be fine. If Tracer buys 1 more province, then the game's probably out of reach. So you're playing on the off chance of a dud anyway. Wealthy Village Scholar seems too ambitious to me. Like the deck isn't actually building to more stuff.
Right.
I guess now that you've pulled a really lucky staff, it technically has built to slightly more stuff. But for the most part, more Wealthy Villages and Scholars aren't really making your deck work more.
To the top of a village here, I'm assuming.
Wow, so
Scholar. Scholar, right.
That was quite the figurehead.
Yeah.
What a great card, that figurehead.
Yeah, like having anything that resembles even close to somewhat of a turn for Tracer is probably nail in the coffin here. Doesn't really need to be a full turn, but it seems to be going a full turn after all. To play this hideout, if you wait, you can just buy trash province, I guess, or the gold. Doesn't really matter. Like the question is, do you want to plus action before you play your scholar? But also not to. It's a scholar anyway. Next one. Just whitelisted.
These are some kind of risky scholars. Like you play it 1 more time, you're triggering a shuffle that could potentially be very bad again.
And if it's good enough already, then
yeah, Province Duchy functionally seals the deal.
Yeah, I need 28 more
coins.
It
takes you a few turns to close it out.
That's BitterWurmcoil needs the remaining all the remaining points cards, right? Like literally all of them. Single state. Yeah. Let's go for 8 is 5, 7. Almost there. Top like any coin, yeah. There we go. Alright. That means Tracer's up 4-1, moving into the last game, taking a second player victory. It's BitterWurmcoil now. in position to need to win as a second player as well in order to escape with a 4 and 2 or 2-4 match. New board. What do we have?
Slightly awkward. Villages just launch. There's Seer for draw, which is what you're doing, but there's no way to trash coppers, which is what you really want to do. Unless if you played Barbarian like 56 times, you could empty the curses. Oh, actually, wouldn't need to be 56 because you can't gain a copper from a copper, right? How does Barbarian work?
No.
Each other player trashes the top card of their deck if it costs 3 or more. So yeah, once you start playing Barbarian, I guess 21 times, right? Is
if it
you turn
hits
copper into
copper or curse every single time.
Yeah, then you kill all the curses. Then you start hitting the coppers, and now the coppers just go to the trash. So once you've given them 10 curses and then trash their 10 curses, your opponent's barbarians can start thinning your coppers.
Right. So yeah, Wishing Wells is like a way of drawing somewhat. You have like 7 coppers in your deck. Opening buys were Wishing Well Silver for Tracer and Wishing Well Oasis for BitterWurmcoil. Because I don't hate Oasis. If you're gonna be drawing estates with Seers, then you're not drawing deck anyway, so the discard doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, I think Oasis is. I'm a not an Oasis enjoyer, but this seems like one of the more reasonable kingdoms for it.
Both players just slamming the Wishing Well pile. Yeah, 3 more Wishing Wells bought in the last 3 turns. Wishing Well copper finds it.
So what terminal action card are you playing with? Gladiator? Barbarian? Probably Barbarian. Is that true? I mean, it is a 5-cost card. Maybe it is just Gladiator.
I mean, turning your opponent's coppers into curses does mean that their Wishing Wells are drawing less. Not sure if that matters at all.
I would like the answer to not be Barbarian.
Yeah.
I want lots of BT2 eventually. I don't think the goal is to have a lot of buried treasures. I mean, it's between buried treasure and market for plus buy for the most part. What about Ranger?
Yeah, if you have 2 Rangers, and you play your first Ranger, launch back, and then like your final action can be second Ranger.
That's plus buy, and it plays well with the Seers. Maybe pair Rangers is the best term. Like I'd kind of forgotten about launch. Yeah, I vote Ranger now.
Wormcoil, I ended up getting a buried treasure. Oh, treasure did as well. So 2 buys here, probably last Wishing Well and another Seer, maybe? Buried treasure.
His next turn is in trouble.
Second treasure.
I'm not sure how I feel about the buried treasures. I mean, it's an alright card, but it feels like it fits awkwardly into the deck you're trying to build here.
Alright, so the Wishing Wells are 5/5. No big difference there.
Seer and Ranger. Seer, you need draw. You didn't draw your deck. Add more draw cards.
Yeah, still, like, these are a lot of buried treasures, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with Seers. I think there's also, like, only 2 Seers been bought yet. Seems like.
See your ranger. See your ranger.
Do it. All right,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
one. Yeah, okay, that's part one. Part one.
You have
Come
4
on,
money
do
left.
it.
You don't even have a terminal action in your whole deck. Launch. What about Jester? I don't want the answer to be Jester because that would be sad. But don't worry, Mort confirmed that Jester is probably leaving.
Confirmed, probably. Yep, that's me. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the second seer at least.
Yeah. 7, 8.
2 treasure for next turn.
2 rangers.
I like the seer.
I would have accepted Seer as well. Seer's fine. Those rangers.
I think these decks are doing something, hitting some price points, but what are the next steps? Like, if it's not ranger, then what do you think they are planning? If it's not ranger,
I don't know. If the answer were Gladiator, I think you would have bought it in the opening because it's silver anyway, at least close to the opening, with a chance of being a gold. So they're probably not thinking about Gladiator. And it just seems really hard to justify taking any of the Terminal 5s anytime soon because any 5 you buy could have been another Seer. So that narrows it down to 1 card. And it was Oasis. You got it.
Is that you mean gold? What? Gold framework?
No, it was Oasis.
Yeah. And a third Oasis for BitterWurmcoil. I mean, you have 3 states in your deck, so 3 Oasis makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, like I'd certainly take free Oases in this deck. It is usually not true. Usually Oasis is just like a fancy copper. But here it makes some sense with Seer and the lack of trashing.
Treasure evening out his buried treasures to be able to play 2 every turn. Sure, it's any good, but bets are in. Bets are in for treasure getting barbarian. We'll have to see.
All right.
Wait,
So
why do you wish for copper there?
Tracer is barbaric.
Like the top 2 cards were both states, right? So why do you wish for copper when you have 7 coppers in hand? That's really mixed. You're trying to set
Well, you have too few buys, so clicking a plus buy card makes sense. That wasn't necessarily the one I had in mind.
Yeah. I don't think I want market over Seer because you have like 2 rare treasure next turn and you can like get a 4th if you really want them. I'm not convinced that buried treasure is better than market, I guess.
I think there's a point where silver becomes better than Oases. I don't know where that is, but I imagine after 2 or 3 Oases, silver starts to look better, and especially based on the number of Seers in your deck.
Stock card is a state, so if you're buying a Seer, you might as well buy launch first, I guess. That's assuming you're buying a 5 cost. any 5 calls really. Yeah. It was a jester for a terminal. All right. Yeah, wishes first, you have more information for your wishing well. But then wishing well because you don't have a good discard for your oasis yet. So makes sense. Last card is the last copper. You had 6 in hand, you haven't discarded any, I think. There you go. 17 is the price point. That's it.
Ranger Province Seer.
Not province. If you're not going for province, then why are you going for more seers?
More buried treasures. I feel it.
I mean, I guess like you're drawing deck, you have 17 coins, so probably want to increase your payload. Alright, which wasn't quite the payload I was expecting, but so piles are at 3 for seer, 3 for treasure, which are both 5s, and then 4 for oasis. Probably out of reach for both of these players because they have 3 buys every turn. Both of them do. Some sad seer there. Cursing has begun.
18.
Buying a bit
More
of treasure
buried
to like
treasure.
even out the 2-2 split as well. And I guess you like want to kind of catch up on the points, maybe. You already have a terminal, so would expect
So for
province
clicking
here.
Province Seer, no question. I think you can afford a Seer here. Your opponent's
Yeah.
gonna hit 20. It'd be more than that even, like 25 or something.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like
Kind of
treasure only has 3 buys, so
yeah.
it's quite safe. Thinking 1 point ahead due to the curse might also become relevant for pile pressure on either side. Can you always just discard a silver here and then draw everything with seer? I think so, right? Or to discard a seer? Should I top deck copper and state, I think? Yeah, that seems not great. With if you play the seer, then you top deck 1 bath card. 2. Depend on how much your seer hits, I guess. Wrong deck anymore.
I don't think
So,
I like wishing for Seer there all that much, just because if Seer was on the top, you could launch and still get it.
Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, all that and still 10 cards left in the deck.
The Jester is doing work.
Yeah.
Not as much work as a Ranger would be doing, but it's doing work.
Treasure was able to double province that turn. BitterWurmcoil will not be able to. And BitterWurmcoil also has only a single bear treasure coming in next turn, while Scourge has 2. Yeah, It's pretty tough. Do you like have to buy duchy here? Because if trades are single provinces, then you have to assume you're double profiting as BitterWurmcoil next turn, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna say duchy. It's best. Buried treasure wouldn't be the other thing I'd be thinking about, probably.
Right. But then treasure can end with 15 and 3 buys. He's already got 6 and 3 buys, so he needs to hit 9 coins. I guess just hitting 9 coins is not trivial in these decks, but
yeah. Yeah, I think duchy seems like the most obvious answer. Market. That is a card. It's like an oasis, but you can't draw it.
But is market not strictly worse than buried treasure here? I mean, assuming that you're like only getting 2 more turns. I guess not strictly better. If you're getting 2 more turns, then no. If you're assuming you're only getting next turn and no future turns after that, then it's just worse, right?
I'm not gonna even try to explain why the market was bought. I don't know. I can't.
Okay. At least treasure dudded somewhat. And launch also doesn't help. So just a single province. Yeah, goes for it. I think you kind of have to like wager that BitterWurmcoil. I guess. Is there a duchy there? Because BitterWurmcoil double provinces.
It was not obvious to me that province was better than like duchy tide pools.
Right.
Obviously, it was worth either.
If you're just like just claiming that BitterWurmcoil is not gonna double province, which is like a reasonable claim to make, but like, is it safe enough? Is there like is playing around double province higher win percentage, lower win percentage? I'm not sure. So I'm assuming you just launch here. Kind of have to. Because you're like, maybe not. I guess. I don't know. I don't quite know how much payload is still in BitterWurmcoil's deck remaining.
Yeah, I think I like launching to draw the province and then buying province. And then you probably lose when Tracer hits 8, but you just gotta pray he has some sort of dud.
Yeah, it's just only one buried treasure coming in. So.
All right, BitterWurmcoil playing the long game.
So assuming treasure only single provinces and BitterWurmcoil needs province, duchy, estate next turn.
Yeah, that's just a tie.
Right. To province, duchy, which is 18. I don't think she's able to manage that even with a perfect draw. Maybe with an exactly perfect draw it would be possible, but quite difficult regardless. What was a fun spot? Having Wishing Well, only one card remaining in deck. Ooh. Miscounted that one, or counting it might not be the best word for it, but perhaps here or there, but it's probably good enough. Probably actually, I think is a large enough points lead for BitterWurmcoil will have a very tough time dealing with that. And also, treasure also has 2 paired treasures in play, so guaranteed to hit duchy next turn and very likely the province, but yeah, not much that BitterWurmcoil can do about that. Just sad duchy estate here.
These decks are gonna get pretty bad pretty quick.
I mean, good thing the game's over. Oh, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah. So as it turns out, Tracer does miss 8.
Oh, this curse is getting in the way. But yeah, duchy is also mostly winning, I think.
Yeah, I think duchy estate here. Another line you could consider be to launch and draw the copper, and then just buy duchy. Okay, launch. Draw buried treasure by 2 estates. I dig that too.
Yeah, these decks just falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's 8. There we go. 8, 5-1 victory. Garbage Tracer. Good games by all. Yeah, so Tracer currently in a decent spot. I think they've got 7 wins now. And BitterWurmcoil's gotta do some work in future matches. It is 6.
Alrighty. I will see you later.
Oh wait, are they gonna play a 7th game? Maybe I should message them.
Wait, that was 6, right?
Yeah, it was 6, definitely.
Okay, yeah, Tracy's confused.
All right, we got there in the end. All right,
Alrighty.
well, thanks for joining me, JNails, and thank everyone for watching.
Ta-ta.
And ta-ta indeed.